All right, good Monday morning, everyone. 48 First Alert meteorologist Eric Burke, and welcome to Weather Extra. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. When it wasn't unbearably hot, it was actively storming. I know we had a lot of storms across the area on Saturday, and meteorologist Jeff Denoyer was also tracking some severe storms for your Sunday afternoon. And those storms yesterday, we had some wind reports and we also had some flash flooding. And basically the forecast is just going to continue to repeat itself day after day. We stay hot and humid, but getting into kind of that potentially dangerous heat and humidity combination there. And then each day we do have that potential of seeing some of those pop-up summertime storms. But those storms, like we had over the weekend, could be strong to severe in nature. A lot of heavy rainfall leading to potential flooding if those storms become stationary. And we could also see the gusty wind threat. That means some trees potentially coming down across the area and frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. Now, what we've got on the radar right now this morning, there's just been a persistent shower right there in Franklin County. Popped up about an hour ago, and I don't know if it was caused actually by an outflow boundary of the other cell that is north and west of you in Waterloo in far western Lauderdale County. But that one is actually producing quite a bit of lightning, and the lightning counter has steadily increased here over the past couple of minutes and will continue to do so. Now, that is a stationary storm, so wouldn't be shocked to potentially see a flood warning coming out for that at some point. But we're just going to go through your forecast. It is summer now. These aren't going to be the most exciting weather extras unless, of course, we have something going on in the tropics. We'll cover that, and we're just going to talk a lot more about heat as we go through the week ahead. So we're getting into summer. Summer officially started. The solstice was Friday evening, and now we just have to deal with that heat. And this is that stationary shower. It's pretty far west of you in Russellville, in between Red Bay as well. And it's kind of like what we're looking at here is just this one lone shower. And then there was a shower northwest of you in Phil Campbell, but that has started to dissipate for the most part. I know Jeff was tracking those storms for you on Weather Extra. Go out over you in Waterloo and areas to the northwest. This is over the state line into parts of Tennessee there, as south of Savannah, I believe it is. Yep. And then just kind of east of the Selmer area, all the way up to Morris Chapel, and I think that is Finger up there, Finger, Tennessee. But yeah, heavy rain and a lot of lightning coming out of this one storm. And the fact that it is not moving, it leads me to believe that there could be issuing some flood products on that. I believe that is the Weather Service in Memphis's coverage area. So I'm sure they're keeping an eye on some of the rainfall rates. Let's talk about the next couple of days really quick. At the bottom of your screen, average high temperature is 90 degrees. Average low temperature is 70 degrees. Just trying to see if anyone's leaving a comment here. Sometimes we do the pinned comments. It's hard to see your comments. But yeah, basically every day looks just like the day before. Very similar setup to what we had over the weekend. I actually didn't change the wind on this forecast this morning. I do apologize about that. I kind of built it in a hurry. Change it up from the 3-day forecast I typically show. But hot and humid today. We are seeing a lot of sunshine. We'll see more clouds continuing to push in. We should hit an actual high temperature of 94, but it will actually feel like upper 90s to lower 100s when you factor in that heat index. Another thing, there's really not much wind today. Very calm conditions, kind of that stagnant, humid air. Sometimes it helps with the stickiness just a little bit. And we're already seeing a little bit of activity on the radar. So we go into tomorrow and Wednesday. Both days, replicas of each other, but they will be hotter and more humid. As far as that heat index, probably looking at about 100 to 105 for Tuesday, and then maybe 103 to maybe up to 110 there on Wednesday. And that is dangerous heat and humidity. I know a lot of people, you're required to work outside. That's part of your job. A lot of you are used to it. You live in Alabama long enough and your job requires you to work outside. You get used to that heat, but it's a little early in the season. This is definitely the hottest stretch. Plus, when you're stringing together these consecutive days of hot, humid conditions, it really starts to take a toll on your body, especially if you're drinking a lot of caffeine. That's a diuretic. And then you're not taking in enough water too. Electrolytes, some sports drinks, always a good idea. But just taking some breaks, finding some air conditioning, cooling down from time to time. But the heat index here, but the longer we string together these days of a heat index over 100 for the afternoon, that's when we start to see more and more cases of heat-related illnesses, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. Obviously, seek medical attention, but just take care of yourself. And if you're out in the sun, wear your sunscreen and try and avoid just doing anything too strenuous in the hottest part of the day. Like, don't cut the grass at maybe from noon to 5 or something, because you're just kind of punishing your body there. By Thursday, just isolated storms. Really, that's the case for the week ahead. We'll be at 94. As someone asked, Samantha asking, when do rain chances go up again? Every day we'll have the chance for that pop-up shower or storm, but our chances don't become more isolated to scattered in nature until we go into this coming weekend. So your rain and storm timeline, we already have a few blips on the radar here, that heavy shower producing the lightning there in parts of Middle Tennessee, just over the state line northwest of you in Waterloo. We've got the little shower in Franklin County, but for the most part, hottest, most humid part of the day. Those clouds start to fill up and build vertically, and eventually all that weight from the raindrops there starts to come down to the ground. And sometimes as we get that collapsing storm, that's when you get that big rush of straight line wind too. So going out to beautiful Guntersville, one way to stay cool, yeah, that's be out on the water there, a speedboat preferably, so you got a little bit of a breeze, but I'm sure there's some people fishing too. Just a hot day, but it is pretty calm, so the water should be pretty level and not too choppy out there too. But nice look there, and then we go out to Athens, beautiful blue sky day, Limestone County, already up to 86 degrees, and we are well on our way to the low to mid 90s. If we check some temperatures here, 85 Scottsboro, 86 up in Lincoln County, Fayetteville, 87 Athens, 85 in Russellville, 86 in the Shoals. Now, I think the Shoals and also Russellville would be a little bit warmer if you didn't have the rainfall in the vicinity. It just kind of gives you that outflow, that little bit of gust front there that sometimes triggers additional storms too. My body feels about 30 pounds heavier even inside the house. Isn't that the truth? A day you just have to have the AC going, that's for sure. And if you do lose your AC over the next couple of days, at least run a fan. You've got to be circulating that air in your home, make it a little more comfortable. Obviously, don't leave people or pets in cars. They heat up incredibly quick on days like today. And this is part of the problem here, is just the dew point in the low to mid 70s. This is very uncomfortable air that we're dealing with here. Feels like temperature, now this is the important number, feels like 95 right now. Huntsville, Decatur, out to Athens, feels like 97 in Coleman. We've got 98 up there in Winchester and feels like 93 in Florence. So the wind today, I mentioned, very calm conditions, east-southeasterly wind, just 3 to 5 miles per hour. That's all we've got as far as a breeze goes. In your hour-by-hour forecast, look at the numbers just jumping up into the low to mid 90s. We'll start to see a bit more cumulus developing through the rest of the afternoon, feeling like anywhere from probably 97 to 103 for that heat index. We do have a heat advisory for you in Franklin, Colbert, and Lauderdale County. Everyone is hot and humid, but those counties in particular just tend to be a little bit hotter, and they do meet the heat advisory criteria for the Weather Service. So just something to consider there. Looking at future radar, doing a good job with the pop-up showers and storms. So these are summertime storms, impossible to predict exactly when and where these storms will develop. But if you get caught under one, you're going to get a lot of heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds, and some lightning too. And even with the rain cooled air, temperatures for the most part should stay in the low to mid 90s as far as those highs go. Things wrap up later this evening, probably at the end of the evening commute. We start to lose our daytime heating. Skies stay mostly clear overnight into tomorrow morning, starting off with temps in the mid to maybe even upper 70s. Tomorrow, carbon copy, rinse and repeat forecast here. Temperatures will make it into the mid to upper 90s. By lunchtime through the afternoon into about that evening commute, we'll be dealing with some of those pop-up showers and storms. Impossible to forecast when and where. We just know it's going to happen at some point. I know you think, oh, that's probably taking the easy way out. Now, by the time we get into Wednesday, this model has been a little more aggressive with the storms firing up off to our east into parts of Georgia, and kind of like what we saw over the weekend, those storms actually move from east to west. It depends on where they form. Get some of that outflow, might even get some more cloud cover coming in, some rain cool there. So we'll keep the rain and storm chance at 20% for now for Wednesday, but if this trend keeps up, I'll probably have to adjust that forecast. And we go into Thursday here. Now this is looking a little wetter, but we're also going over to some of the longer term model data. I don't know if the rainfall coverage will be, this extensive here. So forecast rainfall, just kind of what the model is thinking potentially for today, tomorrow, all the way through Wednesday evening. just know these storms, if they stop over you, you could see 2 to 4 inches of rain in about a 30-minute to 1 hour time frame, and that's where we get that flooding threat coming in. So satellite and radar showing some storms firing up over the Gulf already. Parts of Florida, that's common for them. That's summertime weather. And we just have those little cells that are popping up. But most of the eastern half of the U.S. is really just dealing with that heat and humidity. 73 overnight tonight, mainly clear. Some areas of fog developing. Just if you see rain today, you're going to see some fog tomorrow morning, especially with the calm conditions. But just a very, very muggy day is starting off tomorrow morning. So if you go for your morning walk, run, take the dogs out or whatever, it's going to feel pretty uncomfortable. Temperatures tomorrow warming into the mid to upper 90s. Not much wind again. At some point, we'll see some isolated showers and storms developing for your Tuesday afternoon and evening. Just keep in mind Tuesday and also Wednesday, those are going to be some of the hottest days as far as the work week, as far as that heat index and feels like temperature. It's going to be uncomfortable at times. Just trying to get my clicker to advance my graphics for you so we can get to that extended forecast here. 97 tomorrow, 98 on Wednesday. Wednesday heat index could be 103 to maybe up to 110 too. So that is brutal. That's stuff you don't want to really be out in for any extended period of time. By Thursday, we'll keep an eye on your rain and storm chances. We'll just keep it very pop-up spotty for now. Friday, 92. And then we get into the weekend. Notice temperatures take a little bit of a hit there, right around average at 90 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. Looks like the weekend could bring more isolated to maybe even scattered showers and storms. Some of these will just kind of be the same thing there. You just get the heavy rain, the wind. The organized threat for severe weather is low. For the foreseeable future, of course, we continue to keep an eye on the tropics if we have anything brewing. I know there's what we call a fish storm out there in the Atlantic. All the way out to Bermuda, I think. Potentially, if they do name that storm, it's really not going to affect too many people. It'll be mainly what we call that fish storm because it's just over the water there, but keeping an eye on that. But we're getting into summer. That means the tropics are going to start to get a bit more active as well. But this Weather Extra, just short and sweet on a Monday. I'll be with you all week at 10:30. So hope you join us tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Stay cool. Drink some water when you can. Not too much sweet tea or coffee on a day like today, as it just kind of is a diuretic and it's counterintuitive to the hydration we're looking at. But stay cool in the AC. Thanks for your time. I'll be on Tennessee Valley Living with Peyton Walker and also your newscast at noon with Gina Benitez. So have a great Monday, a great week, everyone. Stay cool, and we'll see you at the same time tomorrow. See ya.